going on, you bunch of heathens? You know what time it is. We're checking out Sabaton History. I almost said Heathen History. On the last battle, which is the Battle of Itter Castle? Something Castle. Don't know. But I do know that the story behind the song actually really interested me, so I can't wait to check it out. As always, the original video is linked below. Make sure you guys go check it out, give it some love. And let's jump in.
In World War II, Germans and Americans fighting together?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, it probably isn't the only time that's happened.
During the beginning of the end for the Third Reich in World War II, the Allies planned the invasion of the German homeland. Rumors had long circulated about an impregnable Alpine fortress stretching all over the northwestern part of Austria, into which Hitler and his loyal followers would retreat if the war ever came to the Reich itself. The Allies were concerned about deep underground bunkers blasted into the high mountains which could stockpile guns and supplies. Such a fortress could prolong the war for several months. Most of their fears
Not
were,
something you really want.
but deep within northern Tyrol, there actually stood such an old fortress. Schloss Itter had been a medieval castle. Its foundations could be traced back to the 13th century. Over the centuries, the castle had fallen into ruin until it was rebuilt in the 19th century. In 1943, it had been seized by the SS and incorporated into the Dachau concentration camp system. The old fairy tale-like castle became a prison for high-profile prisoners.
I actually didn't know it was part of Dachau. Okay. So, oh, wow. That's actually a big surprise.
Some of France's most influential politicians and generals like Edouard Daladier, Maurice Gamelin, Michel Clemenceau, and Paul Reynaud were even held there. By the end of April 1945, the noose was tightening around the Germans. The Red Army marched deep into Hungary from the east. German forces had surrendered in Italy to the south, and the Western Allies advanced towards Tyrol from the west. What was left of the shattered remnants of the German army flooded back into Austria, and Tyrol grew full of the last die-hard Wehrmacht and Waffen-SS troops, whose mere presence would keep many other soldiers from surrendering. But there was also another group there that is often overlooked, the Austrian resistance. After the Anschluss in 1938, there had always been a number of native Austrians who stood against the Nazis. For many,
this is a group you don't ever hear about, huh? I don't think I've ever heard anything about an Austrian resistance before. I've never heard of this before. This is cool. Yeah, this is something I've never heard of before. And I'm assuming people don't really talk about it. Like, you know about the French resistance.
For many years, they could only offer passive and non-violent opposition. But with the Allies just a few miles away,
that's probably why.
Finally act. They provided valuable intelligence about the German defenses and directed the Army spearheads through the In-River Valley.
I just realized that
the most important goal was to protect
this was
the
way
Austrian
oversized
citizens from bloody reprisals by the SS.
I don't know when it got like that.
Already people were hanging white flags and Austrian flags out from their windows, and the SS did not hesitate to open fire on these defeatists.
Of course not. It's the SS.
Castle Itter was dark. The French VIPs, very important prisoners, feared that the SS guards would rather execute them than release them to the Allies. But then on May the 4th, after the last commander of Dachau shot himself in his quarters and the SS officer in charge took that as his cue to disappear, the castle was suddenly empty. Reynaud and Clemenceau took a stroll out of the castle gates and into Itter village, but quickly turned around. The roads were still full of patrolling SS troops, setting up roadblocks and machine gun posts.
Nope, not dealing with that.
The French VIPs discussed their situation. It was clear that they were still trapped, and that it probably wouldn't be long until the SS reminded itself of their existence. So they came up with a plan.
Yeah, that'd be scary.
They would sew together a French tricolor banner and hang it from the inner walls to alert Allied aircraft to their presence. Next, they would get in contact with a rather unlikely member of the Austrian underground resistance. SS Captain Kurt Siegfried Schrader could have played the stereotypical Nazi villain in a Tarantino movie. Highly decorated, he had served as a bodyguard in Hitler's headquarters. After being badly wounded in desperate fighting in France, he broke with the Fuhrer and defected to the resistance. Schrader promised to help, but he knew that his authority could only buy them some time. If any higher-ups in the SS decided to storm the keep and kill everyone...
That's insane! A bodyguard to Hitler after getting injured defected? That's insane! That's an insane grab for the resistance.
When inside, his rank could not prevent it. All agreed that only the quick arrival of the U.S. Army would save their lives.
You say Jenny at the gates? Let me back that up. Jenny at the gates. Huh. I don't know why. I must not have looked at the screen when this was going on of the song itself. I don't know why the fuck I'm so tired. I thought he was saying Jerry. Jerry at the gates. That would make sense.
They sent out the Czech cook to establish contact, but halfway to the American lines, in the town of Vergel, he was nearly caught by a patrol, but being pulled into a nearby house saved his life. His savior was Major Joseph Gangl. Gangl was a career soldier in the Wehrmacht since 1935. From the war's beginning to Stalingrad, Normandy, and Bastogne, Gangl had seen everything, but he too had returned a disillusioned man, and like Schrader, chose to betray his oath to the Nazis. Now, we don't quite know how such decorated soldiers gained the trust of the resistance, but at the moment, it mattered little. Gangl and the Czech cook set out to find the Americans. Driving just a few miles cross-country, they suddenly spotted several Sherman tanks in a small
He was fucking lucky to find them.
Slamming on the brakes, Gangl, still wearing his uniform, got out, hands in the air. He was led to the nearest U.S. officer, Captain John Kerry Lee. After listening to their story, Lee radioed headquarters, and after a quick exchange, the 27-year-old former college football star from New York enthusiastically declared they were going on a rescue mission.
Hell yeah, brother!
Lee's unit was part of the 12th Armored Division, which now, after Hitler's death, was not quite as enthusiastic as their captain to risk their lives fighting die-hard Nazis in the final hours of the European war.
You gotta go save some people, homies.
Was determined and set off with his ad hoc task force of 7 Shermans. His own tank, the Besotted Jenny, took the lead.
Oh, that's why it's Jenny at the gate. Okay, that makes more sense then.
4 of his tanks were able to cross a wooden bridge before it gave way. His force reduced, the column rumbled on.
Okay, so what do you say, 7 tanks down to 4? Still not bad.
Austrian resistance and joined by a group of German soldiers loyal to Gangl. Although the Waffen-SS had left Vergel, Lee left 2 of his tanks behind to support the resistance in case they came back. The 2 remaining Shermans, Besotted Jenny and Boschbuster, moved on with the Germans.
Boschbuster, I like that.
Close to Itter village, they had to cross another bridge, which had already been wired with explosives. Lee ordered Boschbuster to stay behind and guard their only route back. Without further incident, Besotted Jenny and around a dozen American and German soldiers arrived at the castle gates. While the men went inside, Lee ordered Besotted Jenny to turn around to block the entrance. In the castle, perhaps one of the most unlikely scenes of the war took place. An American Army captain, a Waffen-SS officer, and a German Army major made a plan to defend French hostages from loyal Nazis in a medieval Austrian castle.
That's an hell of a sentence. That's something you read out of a fucking, like, book or something. That is an insane, or a game. That is like some Call of Duty type shit that people would call unrealistic. That is some insane. And I love one of my favorite quotes that I always think of all the time whenever I watch shit like this is, real life is stranger than fiction. And honestly, it really is.
I know. Schrader reported seeing several Waffen-SS
Oh,
trucks
those some
moving
ghillie
around
suits for the
carrying
truck.
anti-tank guns. Lee, knowing that American reinforcements were on their way, ordered the French prisoners to seek shelter in the keep while the soldiers took guard at the castle
To the
walls.
keep!
They were only lightly armed with rifles and submachine guns, but the firepower of Besant and Jenny would give them a chance. Lee went to bed, but it would be a short night. At 4 a.m., he awoke to the sound of gunfire. A German MG-42 was firing at the gatehouse, and Jenny's .50 caliber was answering. Tracer rounds were flying through
Hell
the
yeah.
guards as the men on the western wall suddenly spotted SS men carrying grappling hooks. The SS was clearly looking for a way in.
Ain't no
Fire
way.
from the defenders had spoiled their plan.
They really that desperate to get into the castle that we're gonna bring grappling hooks that climb the wall. What the fuck kind of what medieval type shit is this? Holy what?
Gangle, Schrader, and their Castle Krauts kept them at bay.
Castle
firing
Krauts
from
is
the upper
crazy.
floors while the Americans defended the gatehouse. Trust between the Germans and Americans had been shaky at best, but now none of them would survive if the SS got in.
Yeah.
Shortly after 8:30,
Still really
things
like
got
the song.
real. They spotted a 20mm anti-aircraft cannon and an 88mm gun northwest of the castle, with truckloads
88
of
scary.
Waffen SS soldiers arriving.
To be
The
fair,
first
so's the 20.
88 shells smashed into the castle, and the whole structure shook. Then a staccato of 20mm shells began blasting small gaps into the walls. Things went from bad to worse. Besant and Jenny rocked violently backwards. Seeing fire spurting from the engine access grills, the crew jumped out of the burning Sherman tank just in time before a second anti-tank shell sealed its fate. With their chances
Or
of survival
Jenny.
now seriously reduced, the French VIPs
Jenny.
took up arms and joined the defenders at the
Sorry.
gatehouse. The elderly Reynaud, France's prime minister early in the war, fired his MP-40 through the open window, and Gangle ran over to help. But he
What
didn't
a
get
G.
far. The man who had seen the European part of the war
Oh, he was a
from the
prime
beginning
minister.
to its final battle was killed by a sniper. With more 88mm rounds smashing into the castle walls, however, there was no time to mourn him. Waffen-SS soldiers were moving up the slopes, pressing home the attack. With the radio blown to pieces, Schrader directed Lee to the castle telephone. Reaching the resistance back in Virgil, Lee yelled into the telephone that they were in need of immediate assistance or they would soon be shelled to pieces. Then another round exploded against the castle, and the line went dead.
Hey, at least you got something out.
Frenchmen and Americans fought for their lives, but ammunition was running low. With Gangle dead and several Wehrmacht soldiers wounded, they were close to being overrun. Lee began pulling the defenders off the walls and deeper into the keep as he saw a squad of Waffen-SS close to the gatehouse. Just
Yeah,
as
pull
they
back.
brought the
It's a fucking
Panzerfaust into
castle.
position,
You got this
a
shit.
sudden rattle of heavy machine guns tore into them. The cavalry had arrived, and just in the nick of time, with the additional firepower of the American tanks, the battle took a decisive turn. The remaining SS troops quickly dispersed into the woods, and the castle was saved. All the French VIPs had survived, thanks to one of the least likely alliances.
That is a hell of an
in
alliance.
any other war. Marcus Linke, who does a lot of the research for these episodes, and I cannot understand why there is not a major movie about this story. The Last Battle.
It really should be. To be fair, it's the same thing with a lot of like Fat Electricians movie videos. It's like, dude, these are all really cool stories that would make amazing movies for Hollywood. Why the fuck aren't there any? Like, this is insane.
So I understand why you would pick this, but I'm surprised how'd you discover this?
I can't even remember, actually, if I'm honest.
Yeah?
It's just how, I think it was an email, a book or something. I remember so clearly, like, reading about it, how I instantly knew that this is a song.
Wow.
And it was
How
such
can
a-
it not be?
Writing the lyrics for the first was amazing fun. Just only writing the music as well. Finally, you can do something that's a little bit more positive, happy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like catchy heavy metal.
And it is a positive song.
Super dark. I like it when it's, opens up a bit.
But you guys are fairly
Yeah.
bombastic, and it's nice that, no, I'm with you.
This one is like, the message and the music, and also messing with the fans. We like doing that in lyrics. We do it every now and then in some of them. For example, in this case, there's Tank called Jenny in the battle.
Yeah.
And of course, we're singing Jenny at the gates as the SS open fire. And if you haven't read anything,
yeah, you don't.
Jenny at what?
Yeah, see?
So who's she?
Yeah, who's this Jenny girl?
Yeah.
See, and I thought he was just saying Jerry.
Oh, Jenny's my longtime lover.
Good to know.
Do your lady friend watch this?
I hope not.
But it's interesting just that action of the unlikeliest of people to be fighting with each other, because that same year, something we covered in the Time Ghost series, the Indonesian War of Independence. Late in 1945, in Indonesia, you had the Japanese and British soldiers fighting together. It was the weirdest thing to read that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I didn't know that. That'd be an interesting thing.
And 1945 was one crazy ass year.
Yep.
And we're talking about it from 75 years later in another crazy ass year.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this year's not done. We still have
2020, that's why.
an asteroid heading to destroy Earth. We have
Oh,
the
if only.
wildfires. You're releasing your first solo album on October 16th, if I'm not mistaken.
R&B album
Yeah. 90s R&B album.
Interesting.
And it's called And Me, I'm Joachim.
from Sabaton.
See,
I love that.
Repeat each other's sentences.
You got to add that last
back
part
to the last battle.
from Sabaton.
So now, how often do you do this one live?
Never did it live.
That's what I was. That was my guess.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we
never
just were
live?
talking about the positivity of the in terms of musicality and stuff.
Yeah.
Why have you never done it live?
It never became that popular, actually.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's so weird because
Really?
you can always guess when you're making an album, is this going to be a popular song or not? This one I thought would.
All right,
So I mean, on every album,
I'm actually
I
kind of
predict like
surprised.
2 or 3, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
And I usually have one wrong.
Yeah.
And apparently this one was
The
wrong.
other way around. These 2 or 3, even though they're good songs, I don't think the audience or concert-going fans.
You don't think it would be?
would
But you
work
never
live.
tested it out.
No, but we also have statistics on how many, how much it's played on radio and streamed and
Well,
stuff.
who was it that?
And we actually speak to our fans, so we know.
Oh yeah, that's true actually, and they do, and they have this. channel
God,
so the fans
I keep
can speak to
yawning.
them as well.
Yep.
And that reminds me, bringing things around further. You guys were in the middle of touring Russia when Corona hit and you had to leave the tour.
Yes.
Now, as of today, what is the status on any of your touring or shows for the rest of the year or the beginning of next year?
We are on go until proven wrong, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
We are, which I really like. Our earliest plans is to go back to Russia and finish what we started in November.
Okay.
And that's something I'm really happy about. And as it looks now, it should be doable. I mean, obviously we're going to follow local laws and regulations. If we want
Got to do what you got to do.
allowed to do the tour, we're not going to be dicks and try and force, heavy metal down people's throats.
What about Sabaton Cruise?
Sabaton Cruise, so far so good. We are going to leave a notification on the 19th of October, I think.
Okay.
We'll have the final meeting with Celia, and then we'll see. Because the thing is here, the only thing we can do is prepare to make everything ready so we can do shows.
Yeah.
But as you all realize here, local laws and regulations change on a daily basis.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they
But
did.
the thing is,
Especially back during 2020.
I don't see it as a big problem. It is a shame if we have to cancel concerts.
Yeah.
But we are.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really do about it.
Or we're going to reschedule the concerts.
And because we've mentioned it before, and I'll say it again, that on the Sabaton Cruise, if it gets to go this year, that I will do bar piano. I will sit there and sing and play a bunch of Sabaton songs.
Hell
on
yeah.
piano.
I'm looking forward to that.
I know it's going to be really fun. I think it's
That'd
gonna
be cool as shit.
Yeah, we should film that actually.
I don't see how we're going to avoid filming it because everybody's going to be standing there with their cameras. So-
I mean properly with
you hear that, Rickard?
Yes.
sometimes
Love that.
with us touring so much,
Yeah.
not
I don't know what it is. I love it whenever if there's someone's filming a podcast or something like this, and they yell at to like someone in the crew back behind them, and just hearing a very far off answer is one of my favorite things ever. I just think it's fucking hilarious.
At the moment, though, but it's easy to get sort of a little bit tired of it. I mean, it's not like in the middle of a tour, I want to go and karaoke, sing a Sabaton song.
Right, yeah, sure.
Obviously.
That'd be
weird.
Weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in between, I like to do and see different things. And I mean, you playing Sabaton songs on a piano in a very different take.
Yeah.
That is something I would really love to see. And I've also, I mean, a lot of artists doing covers of us online. I really enjoy watching it. And I mean, I think it's the ultimate, what we need to remember as artists, that even if it's a young person who doesn't have any experience, can barely play their instrument, it is still the sort of the ultimate form of a compliment you can give.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the song enough that I want to try my hand at it. I think that's really cool. I love covers.
I like your music so much. So I'm not going to write my own. I'm going to perform yours instead.
And I'm going to perform it in front of other people so I can go, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So
Yeah, you like this song too?
But I will say this. Hopefully the Sabaton cruise will go ahead, and then I will do the piano show, and you will get to see it right here on Sabaton History.
Thank you very much, guys. All right, everyone. You know
I like that song. I'm surprised they didn't get big.
Get some subscriptions, check out Indy's other channels, become a Patreon. That's it. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry. I still love it every time he says, get the fuck out of here. I think it's hilarious. As always, fun video. And really interesting. Like, that is a hell of a story. Now, let me know if you want me to do the Wendigoon video on it, because I have a feeling Wendigoon will get a bit more in-depth with stuff. But it should be really fun, either way. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Till next time, you guys take care of yourselves. See ya.